Hey, film dorks, what's going on? The 100-Foot Journey is a 2014 comedy drama directed by Lasse Hallström from a screenplay by Stephen Knight, based on the novel by Richard Moraes. Starring Manish Dayal, Dame Helen Mirren, Om Puri, and Charlotte Le Bon. An Indian refugee family settles in a small village in France and sets up a restaurant. The problem? They're located directly across the street from a Michelin-starred French restaurant, the owner of which sees their very presence as an offense. A clash of cultures ensues, sometimes humorous, sometimes not so humorous, but always fundamentally human. That description makes it sound pretty much like any of your run-of-the-mill foreign person moves to normal white peopleville and shakes things up. And if you've seen the trailer, it was kind of marketed that way. But the war that develops between the French culture on the one hand and the Indian immigrant culture on the other is actually just the backdrop of the real story here. The film's real focus is on Hassan, the middle son of the Indian family, as he learns to navigate between the two worlds of traditional Indian cooking and French haute cuisine in order to become a master chef. The end result is a sweet and inspiring concoction about food and memory and family and finding ways to bridge the distances that divide us. There's a lot to enjoy here. The performances are solid all the way around. The cinematography by Linus Sandgren is just gorgeous, especially the close-ups of the food. It's just everything looks so beautiful. The colors are vibrant. It's so tactile. You just want to reach in through the screen and touch everything. I like the fact that it really prompts you to ask about your own relationship to food and its connection with memory and family and the things that matter to you. Now, some people criticize this film for not doing a thorough enough job exploring the racial and cultural differences here, but I actually like the fact that it doesn't present this as an issue we are going to solve in our movie, and I really like what they did with Helen Mirren's character, because it asks you to consider, we all have prejudices, we all have something that we judge other people for, and the arc Helen Mirren goes through here forces us to ask, okay, but at what point do we say, okay, taking your dislike of those people to that extent, that's too far. On the other hand, I kind of get where people are coming from when they say it doesn't go far enough. We're only introduced to really one out-and-out racist character who just can't stand them, they're Indian, they don't belong here in France, they need to go home. And, there's some confrontation there, but then he gets called out for his racism, and he just exit stage left, pursued by Bear. He's gone. We never hear from him again. Nobody else comes forward to fill that niche saying, these people don't belong here, this is our country. But at the same time, as I've said, that's not the point of this movie. The real focus is on Hassan and his food journey. So maybe it's not necessary to really belabor the point with more racist characters. There's also a large chunk of the third act of this film that I don't really... really the entire third act I don't really like. There's a section that takes place in Paris. I'm not going to get into the details of any of what happens story-wise. I don't want to spoil anything. But it feels really jarring, really out of place. And a lot of people have pointed to that as sort of the low point of the film. But I've also started to realize, that's intentional. It's not supposed to feel like it belongs. It's supposed to be jarring. It turns out they even filmed it differently. Those sequences were filmed digital, where they filmed the rest of the movie on film. It's supposed to be an uncomfortable experience sitting through that portion of the film. But does it actually work, or does that just alienate your audience? That's a question I think they maybe should have thought about a little more. And then the ending itself kind of feels more aligned with the rest of the movie, but also feels kind of abrupt, kind of like, oh, and we had to put this nice happy little bow on the end of things. But I don't know, it's mostly a feel-good movie, so would any other ending have really worked? These are not necessarily negatives about the film, so much as things that I'm left going, does that work? I don't know. I'm gonna give the 100-Foot Journey 3.5 potatoes. If you like food porn, this movie is your jam. Or if you like films that explore what happens when cultures collide, but you're not looking for anything super deep and serious and depressing, you might enjoy this. Give it a watch, let me know what you think down there, or comment below with your favorite food memory. If you enjoyed this review, I invite you to subscribe. I post 2 videos a month, one on the 15th, one on the last day of the month. Thank you so much for checking out my channel. I hope you're staying safe, happy, and well, and I'll see you on the flip side.